Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
So if you're any kind of sports fan, especially if you're any kind of fan of the world of the NFL, of the world of professional football, the big news over the last couple of weeks has been that the Raiders are moving to where, Funkhouser?
The Raiders in Vegas.
Yeah, your old stomping grounds. How do you feel about the fact that a football team that was once... Well, you lived in Vegas, right?
Yeah, I was a UNLV running Rebels fan. Go Rebels.
Yeah, there you go. And now Las Vegas is getting a professional football team. Now, I'm not really super familiar on the history of Las Vegas sports, but have they ever had an NFL team before?
I can't recall. It hasn't been in our lifetime for sure.
Yeah. So, this is big news. And, well, it's going to mean a lot to the city of Las Vegas. It's going to mean a lot to Nevada. And, well... Here's the interesting thing about Las Vegas and Nevada in general. There's a reason why certain types of businesses set up shop there. There's a certain lack of regulation that allows certain activity to happen in Las Vegas and in Nevada that doesn't really happen in too many other parts of the rest of America. One of which is the legalized flesh trade, the plying of the oldest profession. The idea of legalized prostitution is something that is, you know what? They totally have it in Austria. When I was there in Austria, I was reading guidebooks. I did not experience legalized prostitution in Austria just because I've never, even if it wasn't for my own personal sort of moral code of not believing in casual sex, I just could never bring myself to pay for it. It's one of those things. It's like George Costanza said, why would I pay for something when if I really apply myself, I might be able to get it for free? And so I could never ever sort of want to take part in any kind of, legal or not, I would never want to take part in any sort of purchasing of prostitutes. But it is interesting, and the way they have it set up in Austria is, I was reading guides on Austria as I was getting ready to go over and visit my dad for his surgery, and one of the things I saw was legalized prostitution, really? And then I, on the way from the airport to go hang out with my dad, I'm looking around, and I'm like, where are all the prostitutes? Shouldn't they be just hanging out on street corners, waving frantically at people leaving from the airport? And do a little bit more digging around, and because it's legal, it is so highly regulated that prostitution on street corners is not a thing. It's not allowed. And the way they do it is actually very civilized. Not someone that's interested in the world of prostitution in any way, shape, or form. However, if I was going to do this sort of thing, this would appear to make the most sense. Because you know how they do prostitution, legalized prostitution in Austria? What they do is they have brothels. But the brothels aren't just dens of iniquity like you see on the HBO show. What is it? With Dennis Hoff. What's that thing called, Funkhouser?
Oh,
Cat House or something?
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm.
So there, you just kind of go to the bar, pick yourself a girl, and go party, I guess. That's the vibe I get from watching the show. But apparently... The way it's set up in Austria is it's like a combination between a nightclub, a bar, a strip club, and a brothel. Meaning you can go watch people ply their wares. I think male prostitution is legalized there too, and there's a couple of brothels where that's a thing. But you go, you watch a little stripping and pole dancing, you have a couple drinks, maybe you go shake it a little bit on the dance floor, maybe find a friend who happens to be a prostitute or not a prostitute, and if you want to take things one step further, well, there's a facility for you to go do that there. It seems very natural, very civilized, and extraordinarily regulated, and it's an interesting thing. That is a conversation for a whole other show. But prostitution legalized in the state of Nevada. Nevada about to get their very own NFL football team, and that's led to discussions of what, Funkhouser?
The Well, you say
a Raiders themed brothel. That's what. Yeah. I don't know if they saw this one coming, but this is now a thing. There are plans for a Raiders themed brothel. Even before the football team gets there, apparently they will have set up shop. How much time do we have left in this segment, Funkhouser?
You want to play the clip and go into it? We got about a minute.
Yeah. Let's hear the clip, and then we'll discuss when we return.
Obviously, we all know about Las Vegas having dozens of casinos there. Today, an entrepreneur came out and said that he plans on opening a Raiders-themed brothel that has VIP access for Raiders players. How much did the league consider some of these pitfalls when agreeing to allow the Raiders to move to Vegas, and will you work with the Raiders to help make sure? Brandon Marshall also said that putting 21-year-old kids in Vegas near the Strip can be overwhelming. How much do you plan to work with the Raiders to help ease any of those concerns?
Well, Ben, I think we have an obligation to do that with all 32 teams. My experience is that 21-year-olds can learn to find trouble in a lot of different places, by the way. So that's one of the reasons why we have focused so much on our personal conduct policies. And it's educating, helping players make better judgments, giving them better information so they avoid problems.
Real 101 Radio 104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
So Las Vegas, Nevada, Sin City, about to get their very own professional NFL football team. That's going to be a thing. And lickety-freaking split, faster than you can say legalized prostitution, plans for a Raiders-themed brothel have sprung up. Now, my immediate question has to do with the legalities and the nuts and bolts of this particular situation. Like, if you're going to open up a Raiders-themed brothel, do you then have to pay the Raiders like a licensing fee, or is it just something you sort of do? There's probably a loophole. Whoever is trying to figure this out and set this up will no doubt have looked at the legalities of it. But immediately, right off the bat, saying that they would give VIP access to Raiders players. Funkhouser, let's hear that little piece of audio yet again.
Obviously, we all know about Las Vegas having dozens of casinos there. Today, an entrepreneur came out and said that he plans on opening a Raiders-themed brothel that has VIP access for Raiders players. How much did the league consider some of these pitfalls when agreeing to allow the Raiders to move to Vegas, and will you work with the Raiders to help make sure? Brandon Marshall also said that putting 21-year-old kids in Vegas near the Strip can be overwhelming. How much do you plan to work with the Raiders to help ease any of those concerns?
All right, Funkhouser.
Yeah.
How old were you when you moved to Las Vegas to work there?
27.
27. So not like a wide-eyed kid, but not a fully formed and functioning adult. Like, you wind up in Las Vegas at age 26. That must have been awesome, by the way. Like, that's the perfect time to move to Vegas. I think you might have thought it was the exact wrong time, but like, were you in any way, shaped, or form sucked into the sin that Sin City had to offer when you moved out there as an impressionable lad in your mid-20s?
No, I did not gamble at all. My happiest story there was when I moved there. The bathtub had one of those big jacuzzi type bathtubs in it, and I said, "This is living." The jets and everything. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. But no, I never gambled. I never went to Pahrump. I never went to Nye County where it's legal.
It's Pahrump, and what's in Pahrump?
That's Nye County, but I think Pahrump is the closest to Vegas where you could drive out to a brothel.
Oh, right.
One of those menu type of things. Because in Vegas proper, it is illegal.
Right.
Clark County,
maybe,
no thank you.
Maybe I've always wondered, like, I love Las Vegas. Las Vegas to me is like Disneyland for adults. Like, it's just it's an assault on the senses. It's great food. It's crazy entertainment. It's gambling. It's the best and worst of everything that human nature has on display. And there's a lot to see. And I really like that. I really like, being able to do that.
Well, you'll have to save a lot of your questions because we have a new friend we'll be talking to in a couple of weeks here.
Who?
Our friend from Vegas. From the
Oh
thing
yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
said,
Homeboy from yep. Scott Sparks, I believe his name is
Matt Sparks.
No, or Matt Sparks. Sorry, where's Scott Sparks? Scott Sparks is a radio guy in Houston, but like,
He's
yeah,
just
Matt Sparks
to
is,
the radio, by the way.
He's just Sparks on the radio. Okay, so yeah, our buddy who's on the radio in Vegas is going to fill us in on what exactly it's like to be in Vegas. But he doesn't really fit the demo of people that the NFL the NFL may or may not have certain concerns about their players, but like, we're talking about footloose and fancy free guys in their 20s. I think Sparks is like married with a kid. He's sort of like, he appreciates the fact that Las Vegas is a place where you can get a great deal on a big home.
Brought some
like
sand
that's
to the beach.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, he falls into a different category. But as you were young and impressionable in your mid-20s, moving to Vegas, are you telling me like the craziest stuff you got into involved your jacuzzi jets?
Yeah, because I moved into a place that I was the only tenant in. It was like a big, brand new, open, in the middle of the desert type of living, and I had a huge house and the dogs and the big.
How much was your huge house, by the way? Because like Vegas real estate was like, oh man, that was good times. If you had like $1, you could live like a king.
Oh, it was over half what I pay right now in California.
You could not come up with a more vague and obtuse way of describing how much your rent is. It was over half of what I pay right now. So it's about half what you pay now to live in Los Angeles. And you live in a one-bedroom apartment now versus a massive house that you had in Vegas.
Yeah, probably half Orlando's rates.
Half Orlando rates. Wow. Interesting. How much rent did you pay? Like,
it was like $900 a month. It was like...
$900 for a massive house?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool. That is so cool. So you weren't tempted by the Las Vegas Strip and all that it had to offer. Were you ever taken in by a showgirl or anything like that? Did you have any lascivious Vegas stories whatsoever? We've known each other for a couple years now, and I would assume that if you had any Sin City stories...
I have the best story ever. You want to hear that today? It involves Jamie Foxx and Britney Spears.
What?
And the week before I decided to move to Vegas was the VMA Awards. I think it was 2006 or 7, and Britney was doing her big return at the Palms Casino. They were doing the big thing, and that was the week before I was going to move there. So I was there looking for apartments and stuff, and a buddy of mine that worked at the station I was at the time was like, hey, we're in Vegas. We're on Jamie Foxx's party bus. Meet us at the Palms. And I went... okay, this guy, there's no way. He drives the van for the radio station. There's no way he knows Jamie Foxx. But turns out he took care of his horses and stuff. So I went to the Palms and met up on the bus with Jamie Foxx.
Wait, hold on. Jamie Foxx has horses in Vegas?
No, he has horses in North Hollywood. See, there's the connection. But I spent about 13 hours club hopping on a party bus with Jamie Foxx and his whole family, and ended up talking to Britney and not knowing it at like 4 a.m.
Well, how you would talk to Britney Spears without being aware of it is a question that we're going to have answered next. Good luck to the NFL. If you get to the point where you don't recognize Britney Spears when talking to her, I'm not sure you're going to be completing too many of those passes.
You walk these streets most every day. You're waiting to get washed away.
Leave the stimulation to the professionals.
Everyone is so smart.
KBRC, more stimulating talk radio.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radio Land. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on.
So, life is for living, and you shouldn't let age get in the way of that. If there's something you want to do with your life, you should go with a gusto. It doesn't matter if you're going to be the oldest person in the room. Doesn't matter if you're going to be the youngest person in the room. You just get after it. Live life. Carpe that freaking diem. Although, there are, I wouldn't say exceptions, but there are limits to what makes sense in normal society. And one thing that tests the limits of what makes sense in the normal society is the 56-year-old man who quit his job at Soup Plantation or Olive Garden and got himself an RV to go to Coachella. He has a very specific list of wants and needs for the female that he's going to share his Coachella wristbands with. Did you see this? This was posted on Craigslist. It got yanked down because creepy. But and to get yanked down from Craigslist, you got to be pretty freaking creepy. Did you see this, Funkhouser? Happened in your neighborhood, like happened in Los Angeles.
Mm-mm.
I don't know how much time you spend scouring the Los Angeles Craigslist, but it's an interesting one. We'll go over a 56-year-old ex-Olive Garden or Soup Plantation, I can't remember. We'll go over his wants and needs for a female companion to Coachella in just a little bit. Right now, though, let's get back to the thing where Vegas is getting its hooks into Funkhouser, and you wound up having a conversation with Britney Spears and not realizing it. How long was this conversation? What did you talk about? And were you like many sheets to the wind that you didn't recognize the fact that you were having a conversation with literally one of the most famous people on earth? Or does she just not look as good in person?
Well, it's 3 a.m., all right, and I had gone on a party bus with all of Jamie Foxx's cousins and Jamie Foxx, and everywhere we go.
Did like Jamie Foxx relentlessly pull out his Ray Charles impersonation until someone said, "You're not Ray Charles"?
No, but Kanye was performing at some venue, and we rolled up like G Unit, ran up on stage, and
wait, you bum rushed Kanye's show?
Mm-hmm. Was on stage.
Like you got up on stage with Kanye, and this is the thing about freaking Funkhouser. This is like he's forgotten better stories than the rest of us will tell. I've known you for years. We've talked about this. We went to Vegas. Hey, Funkhouser, you used to live in Vegas. Anything fun ever happened? Yeah, it was a good time. I like being on that radio station. This story never reared its head, and I will equate this to this. The time that we were having the Mile High conversation, like, hey, anybody ever join the Mile High Club? On the air, Funkhouser's like, no, I never did. Off the air, I just remembered I did join the Mile High Club. I guess what I did with a porn star in a private jet counts. Of course it counts! How could you possibly forget that? Like I said, Funkhouser, he lives a life where if one of the things that happened to him happened to us, that would be the story that we told at the bar till the end of time. We would go in and people like, hey, tell that story about that time of the private jet with the adult entertainment superstar. Tell that story. Okay, all right. So we're on our way from Pahrump, Nevada, where that stuff is legal, to wherever the hell it was. And Funkhouser, you forget the best stories. Please go on. And slowly and in detail describe how you and Jamie Foxx and a bunch of his crew bum rushed the stage at a Kanye West show. You were on stage with Kanye and Jamie Foxx performing.
Well, yeah, that's a stretch.
What's the song?
Gold Digger.
Give me money. Gold Digger. Right. You're on stage with Kanye West and Jamie Foxx as Gold Digger is performed. And whenever you go to rap shows, there always comes a point, and maybe you were part of one of those, there always comes a point where a whole bunch of people that have no connection whatsoever to the artist, where you're like, I don't know that person, get up on stage and start waving towels around and encouraging the crowd to get into it. Were you up on stage being like, yeah, Gold Digger, bitch? Oh, were you the Flavor Flav to their Public Enemy, to their Chuck D in this moment? You got on stage and you were, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You were the hype man to Jamie Foxx and Kanye West. Mm-hmm. And you've never told this story before. All these days when I come in and go, Funkhouser, I'm really overworked at the moment. I don't have time to really prep a show. Do you got anything? You're like, no, I got nothing. I did a little gardening over the weekend. And you're skipping the story of getting on stage with Kanye West. Please continue, but understand my frustration. I hope this is registered.
Yes. I'm sorry I didn't tell you till now. I just didn't think it was that important.
So you had
I was out there looking for apartments. I didn't know I was going to this amazing thing. So there I was. We went to several different venues. We ended up, Kanye's was right in the middle. We only went there to sing that song, and then we bailed like Batman, back on the bus. Uh-huh. And I had bonded with all the family, so they didn't leave me behind ever. They're just like, don't forget Funky. So then
you bonded with Jamie. Are you still in touch with any of Jamie Foxx's family?
Oh no. No, we didn't bro down that big, but we were just hey,
but they
this is
just,
gonna be a fun
in honor
day.
of having a great night, don't forget Funky became that mantra. Okay, go on.
So then we ended up at some club where they gave Jamie Foxx a bottle of Ciroc right, and a flashlight, and now he's flashing the light in ladies' faces and giving them free shots in the club, right? TMZ takes a picture. I'm in that picture.
Are you in this picture?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Which
is right in the middle of it.
Please?
I just sent it to you first, but yeah, I will tweet it.
Hold on. Wait a second.
You'll have to go to the podcast page to hear it, and it'll be the picture of the page there. It was a TMZ shot. See if you can find me in all of the faces.
Wait, hold on.
Do you see me there?
Wait.
Do you see me there? I look a little tired because it is 2:30 in the morning.
Oh my God, I see it. Well, so like it's misleading because it's circled. And I guess TMZ did the circling, and what they're highlighting is Jamie Foxx giving shots. But there you are, like, oh my God, you're so out of it. Oh my God, this actually happened. This isn't BS. There's photographic documentation of a crazy night out that you had with Jamie Foxx as he was giving shots. And there's his flashlight, and there's a bottle of Ciroc. And I never would have, I mean, I believe it, but I never, that.
As you can see on my face.
Yeah. You look so confused. This is absolutely incredible. Mm-hmm. You are completely out of it. Mm-hmm. Were you drunk out of your mind?
I was just following directions. This way, that way. I mean, think about this scenario here. There are hundreds of people. It is after 4 in the morning, probably. Somewhere around there. And this is happening. He's giving out shots. And then as soon as the bottle was half empty, he's like, gotta go. We went back on the bus, went somewhere else. We ended up at the end of the night at the Palms. He had one of those penthouse rooms on not the top floor, but a couple of floors down, If you know where the Palms is, it's right next to the old Playboy Club. So it's off the strip, across from the Rio. It's happening, and all the tour buses were there, and the next day was the big MTV VMA Awards. And then, so we're back at the, we're playing pool, there's a couple of clingers hanging on. I got nothing else to do, because I had a hotel room. I'm apartment hunting, and that day I found my spot, so I'm like, I'm cool, man. I'll wait till the sun comes up, meeting all these strange people that I'll never see again, probably. So at the end of the night, a group of girls with their hats on and their glasses, much like how Jamie Foxx looks in this picture, right? They all come down, knock on the door. Hey, you guys still up? Let's say it's like 6 in the morning. Now the picture you see here is it's like 3 in the morning, and I'm already just smashed, just tired.
Sure.
I drove all the way to Vegas that day. It's like 20 hours in. So I'm sitting at a table, and these girls come in. We just start small talking. I'm like, so you here for the MTV Awards? And she laughs. She's like, yeah. Me and my friends are just hanging out, and I'm telling her about my whole day, about how I'm looking for an apartment here, and I just got a job at the radio station.
So you met Britney Spears, and without realizing it, you told her about your apartment hunt.
Told her that it's hard because I have dogs. She goes, oh, I love dogs. What kind of dogs you got? And we just made small talk, and then it was about 15 minutes, and she left. And I looked around, and everyone in the room was looking at me. Dude, did you know who you were talking to? No. Who was that? She's the host. She's tomorrow's host. Oh, I see. So that was the queen, huh? Oh, great. Well, now she knows.
And did you feel like this girl that you didn't know but lived that you like? Did you feel like maybe you were getting along and you should ask for her number? Because it would be so great if you had a story about being turned down by Britney Spears.
No, I think
without realizing it was Britney Spears.
I think she liked the fact that I didn't catch on who I was talking to, because I was.
Do you think that she believed you didn't know who she was, or did you think that she was just like? Do you think that she pretended? Do you think she suspected you of pretending not to know who she was, so you could approach her like an equal?
I don't think she thought I was pretending, and she wasn't pretending either.
Right.
It was great.
So basically, what you're saying, you and Britney had something, and it was real.
And it was real.
It was a real moment.
Well, I got to get some sleep. Well, it was nice talking to you, miss. See you later. And then the next day, that picture comes out on TMZ. An embellished story. I should look up the story and send it to you also.
Yeah, you probably should. But yeah. So as we can see, bear in mind, Funkhouser wasn't even living in Vegas at this point. This is what happened to him when he went to apartment hunt. There are concerns about what was going to happen when you move a whole bunch of young professional football players to Las Vegas, Nevada. And a lot of those concerns have been sparked by the fact that owner of Nevada's famed Bunny Ranch has announced plans to open Raiders-themed brothels to coincide with the franchise's move to Vegas. It's going to be called Pirates Booty Sports Brothel. The brothel is going to be located in the town of Crystal, about 70 miles north of Vegas, because prostitution is not legal in Vegas itself, as Funkhouser told us. Clark County owner Dennis Hoff said the Raiders... Oh, it is Dennis Hoff's place. That guy, he's always trying to be like... We keep getting sort of like hit up. Would you be willing to have Dennis Hoff on the show? And now there's really something to talk to him about. I mean, like, everybody knows him, and like, I guess, should we have Dennis Hoff on the show, Funkhouser? We probably should now, right?
We can call him right now.
Yeah. I think at one point, one of the radio stations I worked for before I worked there, sort of like, there was a competition, like you could lose your virginity at the Bunny Ranch. This was in the good old days of radio, pre-Janet Jackson's nipple at the Super Bowl, before the FCC really clamped down on everything. So it was before I actually got into radio. But I remember being like, the Dennis Hoff's PR people like were constantly hitting me up, being like, "Hey, can we do something with your radio station in San Diego? Can we do something? We've done stuff in the past. We'd like to do more." And I asked my boss, I was like, do we have any interest? And she's like, "Man, years ago, somebody lost their virginity as part of a radio competition at the Bunny Ranch, and he was the guy in charge of it. I don't know really if there's much we can do with him now." But like, I would be all into having Hoff on and having him talk about the Pirates Booty Sports Brothel. It's an interesting one for sure. Owner Dennis Hoff said the Raiders coming to Vegas will mean big business for me, so my next sexton will honor the men in black and the Raider Nation. Hoff said he's also going to offer deals for Raiders players and staff with 50% off sex parties, as well as a VIP section just for the players and other athletes. Hoff also says that many of his employees will be dressed as cheerleaders. Capitalism, America, free market. I don't see what could possibly go wrong with this. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. This is, I'm sorry, I'm still, oh, look, the actual, what is this, Funkhouser?
I found the article from 2007 on TMZ with the picture and the story behind what was going on that night. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's at that place, Tao. That's in the Venetian. I've been to that nightclub. Not on a night like you, not rolling with a crowd like you rolled with, but I've been there. That's the place where isn't that the place where like there's girls sitting around in flower petals, like little baths full of flower petals, wearing flower petals over their unmentionables, and that's it?
Maybe. I mean, it was such a blur. We went to literally every club that night. 12, 13 clubs. That we were there 5 minutes.
You know, Funkhouser, you said you were tired because it was 4 a.m. because it was 3 a.m. According to TMZ, this photo of Fox and of Funkhouser, this photo of Jamie Foxx and super producer to the stars Barry Funkhouser was taken at around 4 a.m. At the Venetian, where he attempted to pour a little something in a lucky dream girl's mouth. She was plucked from the crowd with the help of Jamie's trusty little flashlight. What a smooth operator. Oh my gosh. Like, Funkhouser, you have better stories than anyone, and you never want to share them. Like, all my stories suck compared to yours. Next time I start to tell a story, go, "Hey, I got something better." It involves me, Britney Spears, and Jamie Foxx at 4 a.m. in Las Vegas, and we will be hooked.
Your destination for stimulation. KPRC, more stimulating talk radio.
Now, more AD on the radio.
So the other day on the show, do you remember this, Funkhouser? We talked about the fact that movie studios are now sort of recognizing the fact that people don't necessarily want to go to the movies anymore. They want to use their streaming services and watch at home. And now there's this idea that movies will be offered on demand at home simultaneously as they hit the movie theaters, like first run movies in the comfort of your own home, but really, really first run movies, like it'll come out and be available to stream on opening night. And that's this whole big thing. But if you have that, will you miss getting to the movies for the previews, like the ads before the movies? Like, I know so many people, I don't care. I just don't want to have to like struggle to find a seat. I don't want to have to scooch by people. I don't want to have to like worry about spilling my popcorn on someone. But as far as the previews go, I don't care. And I know people, and we've all been there, and maybe you're one of those people, but you get to the movies and you're looking for a parking spot and they're like, come on, we're late. And it's like, we're only missing the previews. I like the previews. A lot of people really like the previews. Are you one of them, Funkhouser?
Yeah, but I get them on YouTube. I mean, I make a point to watch everything that comes out. It's part of my super producer
gig,
abilities. Yeah, but and I'm always late, so I'm always going to miss the first couple of them.
What makes it really interesting, though, is when you get in and very, very clearly the wrong commercials are playing before the movie that you went to go see.
Problem with the movies is that they show commercials, and I've gotten over the fact that they're showing me the same damn commercials I can see at home, but I paid $18 to see it. And that doesn't bother me anymore. The part that bothers me is that they don't pay attention to who they're advertising to. I'm at the premiere showing of Harry Potter. The first time anybody can see this, they show a commercial for the Marines. I'm looking around. Half these people are in costume. I saw 4 Harry Potters and a Dumbledore out in the parking lot. I'm thinking, these are not the people you want in your army. Maybe if the Marines are looking for a good IT staff, hey, here we are, right? Sign us up. Unless you got short bows and long swords for us to fight with, I don't think we're interested.
The great comedian Butch Wesley talking about the ads before movies. I'll be curious to see what they do when they start offering first run movies at home. Shall we do a little bit of news today, and then we'll talk about the 56-year-old dude that quit his job at Soup Plantation and advertised for a female companion to go with him in his recreational vehicle. Totally creepy looking recreational vehicle that you can absolutely picture meth being made in, to Coachella. Well, shall we do some news before we get to that? Our big story of the day, because we tackle the important issues around here.
Is My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair, and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser.
Oh, yeah.
Barry Funkhouser.
Here I am.
What? Barry Funkhouser. Barry Funkhouser.
Let's see.
Before we get going, did you tweet the picture of you hanging out with Jamie Foxx?
No. Should I?
Should I do it?
Tweet. Can you tweet this whole story? I think it goes well with the story.
Yeah. You know what? I'll tweet that. Yeah. I'll do that. People listening live over the interwebs will just have to wait until the podcast is up, and then we'll do that. Alrighty then. What's going on in the news?
Virginia police arrested a man for walking around with a sword dressed as the Joker.
Yeah. That's not a good thing to do.
Nope.
I believe he's been sentenced to a couple years of probation and a lifetime of virginity. What else?
We talked about Rachel Dolezal a couple days ago.
We did a whole big Rachel Dolezal thing, but what else do you got?
In her new autobiography, Rachel Dolezal calls herself a Black is Beautiful, Black Liberation Movement, fully conscious, woke soul sister.
Yeah, and just to be clear, this is the woman that was born white and now identifies as a black person. She says she's part of, she said she's a Pan-African, not an African-American. She's part of the Pan-African diaspora. I think that's how she describes herself. And she's a Black is Beautiful, Black Liberation Movement, fully conscious, woke soul sister. Her word, not mine. And she used the A to end sister, not sister, just for extra authenticity. And she was saying that her black husband, divorced her because she was too black for him. After we talked about this, there's pictures of their wedding online, and you can see that, look, Rachel Dolezal was someone that got a job working for her branch of the NAACP. I think she was the NAACP chapter president. And she did it sort of under false pretenses. A lot of people looked at her, what with, her hairstyle and her braids and the fact that she was very, 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 very tan, used a lot of self-tanner, hung out in the sun a lot, and thought maybe she's, some non-specific, very non-white ethnicity. She essentially got a job working for the NAACP posing as a minority. And anyone that thought, oh, that's just how she looks, it's, nobody's business but hers how she looks, and, you're just making assumptions based on appearance, and that's racist in and of itself. Here's the thing. If you look at her wedding picture, she is unbelievably white, like whiter than me. And I flavor, no, none, zip, zing, nada, nothing. Like I am pale. I don't tan as much as I stroke. I go straight out into the sun as a white pasty English heritage Anglo individual, and I come out with serious sun damage in about 5 seconds. She is unbelievably white. She makes me look distinctly olive skinned. And like their wedding picture is like this guy and this girl looks really, really nice, and they're married, and then cut to a couple years later, she looks like a completely different person. And she says that her husband divorced her because he couldn't take how black she was. It's just, you're white. He married an unbelievably white person. And if you get married, look, obviously you're going to have to weather storms of change. You can't go, this is not what I signed up for, in every instance of change. But when you signed up for someone who was white and they start changing their appearance so it appears that they are not white, and they start acting as though they are not white, and they start using the fact that they don't look white to get themselves a job that has a lot to do with their ethnicity, it's deliberately and weirdly deceitful. And there's a difference between identifying as something and schnoogling your profession. And what she did was she schnooggled her profession. And her husband divorcing her, I don't think it was so much that he couldn't deal with the fact that she was too black for him, as she said. I think he couldn't deal with the fact that she was being willfully deceitful every single day of her life.
Real radio.
104.1. There's something happening here, and you should know what it is.
The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
Funkhouser, how much time do we have left?
This is it, the final round, 13 minutes.
All right, let's do a little bit more news, but like we simply must talk about this 56-year-old man seeking a young female Coachella companion to meet his 20 creepy demands. It's just people are unusual. And if you, like me, like to stay in and avoid them, it's totally understandable. All right.
I just imagine shoe polish all over the windows.
Oh, gosh.
Coachella or bust.
You know, and it's funny when you see a house that has tinfoil on the windows. And like, I mean, there's
in Vegas, there's a reason for that, but go on.
Well, in Texas, there's a reason for that too. And like one of my best friends, I'm looking at his next door neighbors, and they've got tinfoil on the windows. And this is a guy in real estate. He's like, this is a great neighborhood. It's upwardly mobile. And I look outside his window and I see his neighbors that have got tinfoil all over the windows. And I go, no, it's not. This is a bad neighborhood. You live in a bad neighborhood. He's like, why do you say that? I'm like, look at the tinfoil on the windows. He's like, it's totally to do with energy conservation. I was like, it's totally to do with cooking meth. And he was like, it's not. I was like, yeah, well, you're never going to convince a potential buyer of that. You, as a real estate agent, should know that. When you go to sell this house, ask your neighbors if they don't mind. Like, tell them you'll eat the extra like $50 that month for their heating or cooling bill or whatever the hell it is, if they just take the tinfoil down, because that makes people think meth lab. That's the reason, right? When people have tinfoil in the windows in Vegas, it's to help with heat, right?
Mm-hmm. Or aliens. Could be aliens, too.
Right. Well, yeah. There you go. By the way, I can't tell you how much I love the fact that the place in Nevada where prostitution is legal is called Pahrump.
Oh, the things that go perump in the night, indeed.
Yeah,
Ooh, it's the closest city to Area 51 also.
That's some very low-hanging comedic fruit. Go on. What else is going on in the world?
Police in Texas arrested a man who robbed a McDonald's wearing a leopard print robe, orange gloves, and orange Crocs.
I believe the arrest was made by the fashion police. You could send him to jail, but at the point in life where you're wearing orange Crocs, you've kind of given up. So what's the freaking difference? And you know what they don't tell you about this story? I caught this the other day. This guy robbed a McDonald's with a hairbrush. He robbed the McDonald's with a hairbrush. I think he just stuck it in his bathrobe pocket, his leopard print robe, and said, under here, I've got a gun. Give me your money. Go on. What else?
A Game of Thrones line of wine will be out this month.
Oh, Game of Thrones wine. Fitting label, because once you finish a bottle, you quickly become naked and want to kill your relatives. Go on.
The release date of the new Aquaman movie has been pushed back.
Yeah. Apparently the whole production is underwater.
So's that joke. Right in the garbage.
Yeah, I think they just need a little more time to really heighten the homoeroticism. Go on.
Stevie Nicks says Fleetwood Mac will not record another album.
Uh-huh. And then she went right back to her usual job of luring Hansel and Gretel to her gingerbread cottage. Oh. Come in here, my pretties. Go on.
Former Gong Show host Chuck Barris has died at the age of 87.
This happened last week, right? Yep. That final gong struck by the Grim Reaper. Everyone's like, oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. And look, for the people that knew him and interacted with him on a regular basis, I guess it's sad. But it's interesting. It's very interesting when people get sad. Like if someone's struck down in their prime, if someone dies at my cousin who passed away little under a year ago, he died before he hit 40. And that, when you hear about a life cut short, is a tough one. When you hear about someone that passed away having so much more to offer this world, having had all too short a time with his loving wife, being in a position where his parents outlive him. Now that's tough. And I'm not just saying that because it's my cousin. It's a story. It's one of those weird things. It's one of those weird things where you could hear the story of that happening and you're like, I never knew this person, but now I'm sad. It's interesting how human nature works in that way. But when you hear about someone that led a rich and full life, making it to the age of 87 before they check out, to me, obviously, that's going to put a dent in the lives of people that interacted with him on a regular basis. But to me, it's almost cause for celebration, not his actual death, but there went a life that was lived well and fully. I'll never understand why people get so bummed out. I guess maybe is it because if you watch the Gong Show and you were into Chuck Barris and the Gong Show and you find out that he's died, you go, what? I remember him being, in the prime of his life. How could he be? Is it because it puts you in touch with your own mortality, Funkhouser? Is that the
probably.
Yeah,
checkpoint.
Yeah. I guess, no, I think that was a big part of the, when my cousin passed away, he was the first to go out of my generation and he went early. To be sure, but it does.
There's your checkpoint.
Like I said, put you in touch with your own mortality a little bit. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's why people die. People get upset when folks die, even at the ripe old age of 87, having led a great life in which they made tons and tons of people laugh and entertain the masses and all the above. Anyways, go on.
People are still talking about Jane Fonda pulling out a vibrating sex toy on Ellen on Tuesday.
Yeah. Speaking of people that have led a full life, I believe she's almost 80 years old, almost an octogenarian. I think she's 79 years old, and Jane Fonda created quite a stir by going on Ellen, the show, and pulling out a vibrating marital aid, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. Yep. Created quite a buzz. Go on.
President Trump's former campaign manager denies that he did any work for Vladimir Putin.
And Hillary Clinton's former campaign manager denies that he did any work for Hillary Clinton. I believe him. Go on.
The Secret Service just requested $60 million in additional funding.
You know, here's and you really want to know. I mean, you really I like to know where my tax dollars are going. Clearly not to fix a pothole at the end of the freaking road. But I like to know where my tax dollars are going. When the government takes almost half of my paycheck, I think I have a right to know exactly how that money is being spent. And if you really, really dig around, sometimes you can get a sense of it. But when you find out about the Secret Service requesting $60 million in additional funding, you want to ask, but the answer will be, we can't tell you. It's secret. Well, what's this $60 million going to? Can't tell you.
Stuff.
That's where the secret part of Secret Service comes in. I guess that based on what we do know of the Secret Service, we have to bear in mind that even though that seems like an absurdly large figure, don't forget an important fact. Hookers and blow aren't cheap. And we know how much the Secret Service enjoys those things. That's why there's so many Secret Service people trying to be stationed in Pahrump, Nevada, right around the place the new Raiders brothel is being opened up. Full circle. Funkhouser, how much time we got left?
5 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right, we got to talk about this guy. So I'm amazed you didn't see this because it went viral. But there was a Craigslist ad that got posted a little while ago from Gordon. This is what we know about Gordon. Gordon's a 56-year-old divorcee who wants a young woman to go to Coachella with him and fulfill some extremely specific desires. The post has been deleted, but now, on the one hand, this might seem normal to you. Like 56-year-old divorcee wants to go to Coachella, live life, and he would like a female companion. Well, you know, life is for living, and you shouldn't let age preclude you from going out and having an awesome time. But wait just a cotton-picking freaking minute while I read his ad to you. You ready for this, Funkhouser?
Do it.
What? Do we have some appropriate music?
Oh, I was looking. Sure, I can find something. Mm-hmm. Appropriate music?
I like the bum.
Oh, no, I have a more appropriate music, I think, probably.
Okay. All right. Coachella VIP weekend pass. Free for the right person. This is Gordon's ad. Okay, here's the deal. I have a VIP pass for weekend 2. I'm willing to give it away for free to the right person. I'm looking for a travel, quotes around this word, companion that can enjoy the festival with me and just have a good time. So far, so good. Nothing super creepy. He goes on to say, I left my job as a supervising manager at Soup Plantation and subsequently divorced my wife of 11 years. I cashed out... You got to turn it down because we don't want to miss a word of this.
Sorry.
I cashed out my 401k and decided that moving forward, my life is all about having fun. No more team meetings, no more employee evaluation, no more balance sheets, no more darn conference calls at 7 a.m. Just fun. I have a room at the Tropics Motor Motel in Indio, Thursday through Monday. If you believe you can meet the below criteria, please shoot me an email and describe why you think you make the best fit. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to finding the right one.
You make the best fit.
All right. 1, bearing in mind this guy's 56, must be female between the ages of 19 and 25. Already, we're off to a rickety start. 2, must be comfortable traveling in a recreational vehicle. Vintage Shasta Chinook 3100, picture attached. And it absolutely looks like you'd be making meth in it. 3, must have fashionable sense of style in the vein of typical Coachella goer, i.e. cute Indian headband, small ripped jean shorts, lots of colorful bracelets, etc. Preferably have a playlist of various Coachella artists on phone we can listen to on ride over. That's less creepy. Must keep hands and feet moisturized at all times. Whoa! Did you hear that, Funkhouser? Must keep hands and feet moisturized at all times. 6, must be open-minded and opportunistic. 7, here we go. Like, if you were okay up to this point in the 80s, Well, like, I mean, here's the thing. If you were okay up to this point, you're like, screw it. This is a free trip to Coachella, and I keep my hands and feet moisturized at all times anyways. This is where any sensible individual would definitely check 100% the hell out. Requirement number 7, must be okay with periodic hand-holding, perhaps during certain sensual songs and while walking into the festival initially. Fingernails and toenails must be nicely painted and harmonious with Fingernails and toenails must be nicely painted and harmonious with general color scheme of outfit.
That's my prerequisite also,
now,
by the way, ladies.
Ladies, yeah. Color coordinate your fingernails and toenails with what you're wearing. Now, what would you think that you would be eating on a trip like this, Funkhouser, if you were a young festival goer? A typical festival goer between the ages of 19 and 25? I will provide snacks such as beef jerky and peanut butter sandwiches. If you have additional snacks and or drinks, big bonus. Point number 10. Being social is fine, but no excessive fraternizing with other male festival goers, and most definitely no public affection with other festival goers. Violation of this rule results in immediate removal of Tropic Motor Motel room privileges and maybe even return ride. Point number 11, he would like periodic moments of extended eye contact. Number 12, allow me to brush your hair once per day. Not mandatory, but encouraged.